No rock stars, roadies, or groupies were harmed in the making of this broadcast. Giving it to you straight and no chaser. This is On the Rocks with Jamie Wilson. All right. Welcome to On the Rocks. I'm Jamie Wilson. How are you guys doing today, man? We're back on MECQ. It's been a gloomy day. Slight rain, some thunder and lightning, so we never know. But hey, it's the first day of September. So, of course, my entire feed is just full of Jose Maria Chan memes, which is fantastic because he heralds the coming of the Christmas season. I hope you guys have been staying safe out there. If you have to go out, if you don't have to go out, please stay home, man. Stay home and listen to some good music, especially by the group that we have on tonight. But before we get to them, we've got a few announcements from Offshore Music. We'd like to start off by saying happy birthday to Anna Mori, offshore artist and wonderful, wonderful artist. She's fantastic. We're going to be guesting her also this week to find out more about her new upcoming album. So happy birthday, Anna. And of course, Anak ng Bayan by Solo is out now on all streaming platforms. You got to check out this band from CDO, man. They kick ass. Also, Alive at Wildgrass Studios, the live EP by Extrapolation is out now on all streaming platforms. And we're going to be hearing more about that tonight. And of course, Vinyl Alert. Our last few copies of Apartel's Full Flood album on vinyl are available at Northwest Estate Collectibles and Placa Planet. So get your copy now. We'd like also to thank our friends from Buenos Panaderia and the Misty Mountain Cafe. Thank you so much for the happiness that you constantly bring with your Milo buns and, of course, the premium blend coffee. I absolutely love this combination. So, guys, man, if you want happiness in your mouth, it's the best combination in the world. And, of course, our friends from Liquor.PH has sent me a bottle of this wonderful gin. Now, as you may know, I'm not a big gin drinker. What? I'm not a big gin drinker, but this is actually fantastic. Puerto de Indias gin has finally arrived in the Philippines. This gin created a new category of gin. It's pink. It's pink, guys. They pioneered the first strawberry gin on the market. This lovely gin is produced in one of Spain's oldest and most traditional distilleries located in Sevilla. It's light pink in color with soft strawberry aroma, a sweet palate with light citrus, and an aniseed finish. And only at 37.5% alcohol by volume, you will be sure to love it. You can get this lovely strawberry gin only from our friends at Liquor.PH. So thank you so much. I've actually been drinking for a couple of hours now, and they even sent me a nice glass to go with it. So thank you, Liquor.PH, and cheers to everybody out there watching. So tonight we got an interesting show. These guys have been labeled a jazz band, but really, when you really listen to their stuff, there's so many things going on in there. Their EP, Alive at Wildgrass Studios, is actually a fantastic soundtrack for this rainy and gloomy day, bringing me moments of, sunshine and melancholy, and some dark moments even. So it's really a wide variety of sounds that I am actually hearing on this EP. So I don't understand why you have to lump them into the category of jazz, but I guess somehow it helps us understand them. But, we're going to get to know them a little bit more tonight. So let's bring them on. Let's bring on Isab, EK, Elijah, and Jello. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Extrapolation.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
How are you doing,
Hey.
guys?
Good evening.
What's up?
We're good.
Man, it is raining hard here in Makati. I can hear the thunder and lightning outside my window, which is like a perfect, Wednesday night in.
It's a vibe. It's
But
a vibe.
yeah, it's a good vibe. I love the way the rain makes me feel. And you guys gave me a really good soundtrack today because I had to do some errands. It was drizzling a little. It was gloomy. It was cloudy, and you guys brought some sunshine into my day. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for being on the show. I just want to find out how you guys are doing during this pandemic. It's been more than a year, man, and how are we all? How are we all keeping up? Jello, let's start with you.
Surviving. It's okay because I can run my business without going out, so that's fine. I'm pretty much all right.
What do you do?
I make costumes for a living, actually. We're
What?
actually in my workshop. If you see up there, we got some props over
Yeah.
there. And behind me are my 3D printers over there. And then I have a lot of mess, which I cleverly hid so that nobody can see it because there's so much work happening, strangely. But yeah, I don't have to go out to go to to buy hardware store stuff. So I just buy it all on Shopee.
Yeah, yeah. Online.
Yeah,
You
so
gotta watch out for the online shopping, man. I had to delete
dude,
my apps because I'm
oh
an
boy.
emotional shopper.
Oh boy.
So if I'm feeling happy, I'll buy
Ah.
something. If I'm feeling
Oh my
bad, I'd buy
god.
something. I have to delete those apps.
You
I
get the
can't.
weirdest things on Shopee, yeah. I, like like this weird weather predicting device that I got. Oh, there we
You
go.
have a weather predicting device?
I don't know if it works, but it's okay. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but like there are
Yeah.
crystals in here, and then if it's a
Okay.
little more humid, they're gonna form something else or something. I don't really know if it works or not, but yeah, this is
It
one of
looks
the
pretty
weird
cool.
Shopee. It
It
looks
looks pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah, and then it has this fun stand, and it's just sitting there on my um, just beside my window, so it can see the weather. I don't know, man, but yeah, that's what pandemic does. It just makes you buy weird stuff. That's
I
one
know
of them.
it brings you a weird sense of gratification because since we can't go out or our movements are so limited, when you order something and it
Dude, it's like
arrives, you're like,
Christmas.
"Yay! Somebody cares." Yeah, Shopee
Yeah,
cares, and they'll take
I
your money
know
too.
exactly.
So you're doing well. You're doing well during this. What about creatively? You're still okay. I mean, you make costumes for a living.
Yeah.
Is this for films? You do it for films and television?
No, lately mostly it's been for content creators. Like one of my
Mm.
clients, he
Oh,
does he does makeup and prosthetics, and he does live streams with it. He
yeah.
does gaming live streams, and yeah, he does a lot of YouTube. I'm not sure if you guys can search up Prince de Guzman transformations on YouTube. He's a really cool local artist, and he's most famous for his Pennywise cosplay. He's super good at it. It
Ah,
looks so freaking real. I don't want to look at him. Right now, he has a stream with the costumes and props that we made him. So that's one of the things that we do.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So you're doing well. What about you, EK? Kamusta?
Yeah, I mean, work-wise, it's been like um, trickling in because, um, I'm a sound engineer, by the way. So, yeah, I have to like see people in person. But luckily, it's like our industries is one of the ones that can operate kahit MECQ. So, ayun, I mean, I was just chilling for the last 2 weeks, but then now that it's MECQ, I have some clients trickling in.
It's
Nice.
funny, wasn't it frustrating because when the lockdown was declared, all these projects were put on hold. And then as soon as
Exactly.
MECQ comes in, lahat sabay-sabay, and we're like, wait, 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 wait.
Yeah, nice.
Because
Oh
we don't know
shit.
what's gonna happen after September 7th. They've only declared MECQ until September 7th. So we don't know what the hell is gonna go on after
Yeah,
that. What
a
what
telenovela.
community what community quarantine are we gonna go into now? Or are we finally going into the barbecue community quarantine?
Oh, I like
You
that.
know? Yeah, that
Yes,
would be fun.
please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Outdoors, line up,
Sanggipsal.
have a
Yeah.
whole barbecue setup and a vaccination center, and you're done, man. Right? That's how I would run it.
You'll get a lot of people to go for sure.
'Di ba? Free barbecue. Oh, 'di ba?
Totes.
Magpabakuna ka. What about you, Elijah? How are you doing? How are you doing during this lockdown?
I guess mixed feelings about it. I mean, I've spent two birthdays na sa lockdown. um, work-wise, okay naman. I've managed to switch companies ngayong pandemic. I do IT professionally. Yeah. But I guess here sa bahay, I guess thank God for music, video games, books, and random stuff you find on the internet.
It's funny, we've been in lockdown for so long, or some degree of lockdown, and it's also very ironic that in the beginning of the lockdown, the government declared artists and all artistic endeavors non-essential, and I find that
Yeah.
so ironic because
Oh,
that's what everybody
uh,
turned to.
I
When we were locked down,
know.
everybody's listening to music, making music, watching videos. Without
True.
that,
Oh God.
we would have lost our sanity, man. Can you imagine this happened
Exactly.
Yeah.
pre-internet?
Yeah.
If this was
Yeah.
pre-internet,
Oh no.
Right. Oh
Oh
boy.
no.
pucha,
It's very maddening.
what I'm gonna have to
Imagine that.
you're gonna have to fax your Shopee orders. You know,
Damn. And
mom, what's a fax?
handwrite it. A fax machine. Yeah, probably get somebody to page you or something, right?
Oh,
What's a
pager
pager?
pa. Oh yeah, what's a pager? You
God.
know. What about you,
Age check.
Isab?
Quick age
I-
check.
Age check. Well, you know what?
No, no.
It's good. It's good to see that. It's good to see that at least technology. At least we have the technology to actually, get together, do recordings, shoot
Oh
films.
boy.
I go out and shoot films almost every day. It's good to be
Oof.
busy, right? As a safety
Yeah,
officer, it's good to be busy, but it's nice because our industries, the creative industries, never really stopped. If you
that's
count
true.
how many albums were released during the pandemic, it's actually more than the average year without the pandemic.
Dude,
So
Oh
that's
really?
people,
cool.
yeah,
That's
we did a
cool.
study, and the statistics are like people are releasing more music now because what else are you gonna do? You're stuck at home,
Yeah, that's
right?
true. So
So it's
people are
actually
making their own.
fantastic.
Yeah, the people are they're making their own home studios and things like that, no?
Yes, now the home
Right?
Yeah,
studio,
yeah.
everybody's had to transition into knowing a little bit
Yeah.
about the technology. They have to, soundproof their rooms for the live streaming. Everybody
Oh
has
my
to be their
gosh,
own makeup
yeah.
artist. It's
Ah,
actually
boy.
hilarious. Diba?
So
Like
Yeah,
Sab, ang ganda ng
little
ilaw mo, Sab. Ah. I like. I'm very partial to red light. I love Sab. How have you been doing?
I've been doing well. I've been doing well. Yeah, just like everybody trying to stay sane. I'm on TikTok. I said I would never be on
yeah.
TikTok. And like sometimes um you just follow certain accounts for your dose of serotonin, and that's my that's my life sometimes. Um Work wise, I was able to switch jobs also during the pandemic. Still in marketing, and I also do marketing for the band. So it kind of just like ties
Yeah,
in.
that works. It
Our
works.
Yeah, it kind of works.
everything's homegrown.
I have
thank you,
not
Isab.
I have not succumbed to TikTok yet,
Mm.
right? But I gotta tell you, man, I have never watched so many stupid videos in my life as when you're stuck at home. Like I mean, okay,
Dude,
so
it's crazy.
you have the option of like Netflix. Okay, so you want to watch a
Yeah.
series, you can binge watch, you can watch a flick, and a film. But man, there's so much content out there, and I've never watched so many stupid videos in my
Right.
entire life. And
It's
it
like
just
snacks.
it really helps you survive the day. Yeah, Jamie on TikTok, that'll be the day. I know that's the end of the world as we know it, right? I wouldn't even know what
Oh
to do with it.
boy.
I tried to go on Discord, and really I have never found an app that is whose name is exactly what it is. It's just Discord. I had no idea how to fucking navigate. I think it shows my age,
Oh my
but
god.
seriously, I spent
I
five
know
minutes
the
in Discord,
feel.
and I'm like, I can't deal. I can't deal. There's too many things happening. You know?
Yeah, dude, same. Like, I don't know, there's so many channels, and it's just like, wait, so I don't have to call you? We could just jump in and what? I don't know. I still couldn't
Again, it
understand it.
shows our age, you know?
I
Yeah,
know.
right.
And then
See?
you're like
Oh,
somebody's jumping in. I'm like, who the fuck are
Age
you?
check.
you know.
Right? Oh
That's
boy. I
funny.
don't know.
But that's great though that you guys are doing well. Trying to stay sane as much as possible. And I think going into your recent release, Alive at Wildgrass Studios, I think that's a
Oh boy.
fantastic and actually a brave choice to make because we've been seeing a lot of quarantine recordings where
Yeah.
pasa yung mga files via email
Oh
and then you add
yeah.
your layer, diba? But to actually
Yeah, yeah,
do it
yeah.
live, is a fantastically brave choice. And I think it if you're gonna have a reason to all get together, since there are no gigs yet. Hello, government, can we open up the bars? You know, since there are no gigs yet, I think that was a fantastic reason to get together. But before we talk about your EP, I want to find out more of your musical backgrounds. I'm
Ah.
always interested in this shows as much a learning process for me because I get to know not only the musicians but what they listen to, and it's like a time machine. I think of it as a time machine where
Right.
your influences you if you name your influences, you listen to what they listen to and what they listen to, so it's going
Hmm.
backward. So Jello,
That's
let's start
right.
with you. What music
Okay.
did you grow up to?
Well, when it comes to like flute, I started a lot of like classical tunes. I studied an extension course in UP's. What's this? Every Wednesday after high school, after every Wednesday in high school, yeah. And it went around for 4 years, and then I found extrapolation. It's like, what's jazz? What? This
What,
exists?
I love that. What's
What?
jazz?
What's jazz? And then, oh, you gotta make your own tune on the fly. I'm just like, what? Took me a while to like wrap my head around that concept of like what jazz is in the first place. Because at least I think also that at that time, EK, one of the first band members, and the rest of the band members back then were also like trying to figure out what extrapolation really was. Like, remember before Red Hot Chili Peppers? EK? Right? And I don't know. I guess it was just trying to figure it out. But apart from just classical music, I think most of my music influences really have just been from game music, like stuff from Final Fantasy, even
Wow.
from games like Persona. Super love that series, that game. Yeah, and stuff from the PS2. Just like jamming out to them before, and then I was like, hey. This is what they were talking about. Some of this is jazz. All right, I think I get you. So I guess what's this? Yeah, that's mostly from there actually.
I think that's funny because you discovered jazz through video games. Who would have
Video
thought?
games, I swear, yeah. Before,
That's
yeah,
amazing. And
and
really,
yeah,
the
I think
soundtracks,
that's
like I've recorded a few voices for video games, and it's actually quite an interesting
dude.
process because you've been immortalized until they upgrade the console and they upgrade the
Yeah,
game.
that's
But
true.
it's quite
You're
interesting because when you hear the finished product, because that's just seeing, there's gameplay, there's all the graphics,
yeah,
etc., etc., everybody focuses on. And
that's
really, it's the
true.
really great games that also focus just as much on the soundtrack and the audio,
Exactly. Oh my
the
god.
sound design of that. And it's really just
Yeah, that's
a
true.
whole immersive. It's a whole immersive experience. And I find that I don't play a lot of video games. If the
Yeah.
soundtrack sucks, you're like, why? You know?
Right. It just doesn't feel right. Like there's
Yeah.
this game I'm playing right now. It's called Genshin Impact, and I've done a lot of costumes for that. And it's a free to play game, but it's one of those free to play games that you roll to get your favorite characters. One of those. But then I just stopped in one of the towns, and I was like, let's just listen to this. And then it was like 7/8. Dun, 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 ba, bum, bum, bum. I was like, wait a minute, they really thought about it. And it's like a German inspired down, and then it just made it work, and then it goes to 4/4, and it's just like, this is like musical orgasm. It was one of ayun, so natawa lang talaga ako. I just really loved it.
How did you get
And then
into the
it's
flute, though? How did you get into the flute? Why
oh
the
my god,
flute?
So,
That's super specific.
so
That's not like, oh, I'm gonna pick up the guitar so I can impress chicks. A flute is a
oh
completely different
no,
animal.
I used to be called recorder boy in grade school. So in when I was in grade 3, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna learn the recorder." And just like, recorder? This is a flute. I'm just like, okay, okay, I'll play along. I'll play along. And then I never stopped until grade 7. And then my mom was like, "Get yourself a real instrument." So she gave me a flute for my birthday. So that's where I started all my lessons, and yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The only
Weird.
the only encounter I've had with the flute was well, I'm a rock music lover, so
Yeah.
Jethro Tull was a big.
Ooh.
I love Jethro Tull, and I actually got to see them live when I was in London. And it's funny
Boy.
because they're an old band, right? But of
Okay.
course, you're just stuck with your album covers. I don't really know what
Yes.
they look like.
Mhm,
And when I was
mhm.
there in the audience when Jethro Tull came out, the band, and their vocalist is a flute soloist as well, and he stands on one leg
Damn.
while he's playing. And I remember when the band first came on, my reaction was like, "Who are these
Also,
fucking
like,
old farts coming
interesting.
out? Like all these old guys coming out, like they look like my lolo, man."
Oh my
And I'm
god.
realizing, oh yeah, this is a band from the 60s and the 70s. Yes, they would be old,
Oh yeah.
but he can still do his flute solos while standing on one leg.
One
Um,
leg.
on one
It's a
leg.
fl-
The
it's
classic flute pose,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he
We
can still do
flautists
that. Yeah.
we flautists are the weird ones, no? Right? Whenever when I play them over, it's just like, oh, I don't know. I always see that with flautists here, around, and everywhere. And not the classical flautists. They're
Yeah.
very like prim and proper.
Yeah.
But if you see these weirdos, if you see these weirdos playing, oh god, it's weird. I saw this Japanese flute player was this playing for a for this anime called Yuri on Ice, and then the flautist was like, it's weird because he also had glasses. He was about my height. We had the same build, and it was just like whenever he plays, he's just like doing a limbo. So I was like, I think it's a flautist thing,
Flute thing, like, yeah, yeah.
right?
Rocking out in the
Right?
flute, man. It's unique. It's extremely unique.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
quite interesting that your background is video games music, from
Video
classical to
games,
video games.
yeah, yeah,
That's
anime
that's
sometimes.
an interesting jump right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What about
And
you,
yeah, that's
EK? Oh, let's hear from EK naman.
Yeah.
go
Well,
go.
for me, it started out in like high school. I come from a musical family, so I have titos who were like musicians, so it was always around music. But then it was like in high school, and I wanted to impress the girls, so I figured like, all right, this is something I can do. I can be a musician. So I was like into like the rock stuff, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, and then yeah, one of my bandmates got me into like improvisation and jazz, and then I kind of got into it from there.
That's quite interesting. I'm so glad, EK, that you finally like said somebody on the show has finally said yes. They picked up an instrument to impress the girls, because every time I ask a musician what
It was
got you
never
into
the girl.
music, they have this long like explanation, and I'm like, dude, you just wanted to impress the girls. Admit it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it
I'm
started like
glad.
that. Like
Yeah,
I liked it more because like, what the fuck? I'm playing jazz. Like I'm not gonna get any girls, but like
Yeah,
turns out,
it starts out that way, and then you grow, but nobody
yeah,
ever really wants to admit it. So I'm so glad EK finally admitted it.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
I
nice.
actually was talking to Mike Shimamoto.
Oh yeah,
We were together in a
Boy,
lock-in shoot, and I asked him
shoot.
that question, and he's like, "Oh, because I love like playing the guitar." He had this whole like convoluted answer, and I'm like, "Dude, you just wanted to impress the girls. Admit it." And he
yeah.
would not admit it. He would
Oh,
not admit it.
Shim.
Right? Shim's like,
I
"Dude,
know
come on,
Shim.
man."
He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
He would-
Knowing
he's
him,
such
he
a
wouldn't.
he's such a nice guy that he wouldn't admit it. You know.
No, he's such a cinnamon roll.
That's a great
Cinnamon roll with
description.
a C. All of us here are cinnamon rolls with an S. Sin.
So Iki, how did you get into sound engineering? From like you
Sound
explored.
engineering part, yeah, the sound engineering part was kind of like I wanted to get into like the process of making music because I was like, how can me play my instrument? How can that turn into this record that has all this like this huge sound palette? And so I was always kind of like, I wanted to understand that process instead of just being someone who plays the instrument. I want to be that too, but I wanted to get into the whole process of making music. So yeah, it was like in college. I just because I have a tito naman who's like a DJ, so he was into the sound, the music production stuff, like the electronic stuff. So I got into it from there. I was like making beats and stuff, and so yeah, I just kind of reached a point where it intersected with what I was doing with the band. You know,
Interesting. I've worked also as
Nice.
a sound engineer in hit productions, and it's quite an interesting animal to see how things are created in terms
yeah,
of like not just how that was my reason for becoming a sound engineer because I wanted to see how these albums are created.
yeah.
How do you track a musician? How do you mic drums, etc., etc. But we were a post production house, so my first task was actually creating sound effects. And we used to have a huge sound
Good.
effect library, but you don't always have the sound effect you're looking for.
Mm,
So we
Ah,
had to learn how to Foley, which is basically
nice.
Foley.
creating. Yeah, so
Oh,
we had to learn how to
that's
Foley,
so cool. Oh
and
my
it's quite
god.
interesting to now when it's funny when you watch movies. Sometimes a part of my brain will go like, hindi ibon yan eh, jacket lang yan eh. When you just
You're right.
ruffle your jacket and that's the flock
Yeah,
of
that's
birds. You know what I mean? That's a jacket.
right.
You know what I mean?
It's
And it actually
yeah.
takes some of the magic away because you know how it's
Mm,
done. But since you know how it's
yeah,
done and you're actually doing it, it actually helps the whole process because you know how
that's
to deal with
true.
musicians and artists,
Mm-mm.
etc., etc. So that's fantastic, Ike. From from impressing chicks to really getting into the music, into behind the music. So that's a great journey right there, right there. Elijah, what about you?
Uh, for me, I started actually in church. uh,
Right.
so back then, kasi there was only one pianist in the church. That was the pastor's wife, and so they needed someone else to play aside from her. So uh, they got me to para turuan. And but it's
Ah,
not just me actually. Yeah. So it was more of back then. It was more of a necessity, I guess. It was that or drums for me actually. They made me choose. Because eventually
Oof.
imagine me drumming. I'm actually
imagine
the yeah, I'm actually one of the worst in keeping time here in the band.
we didn't say
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean,
Ikaw
I
nagsabi
know.
nun,
Say
ah.
anything.
Uh,
Actually,
Ikaw na yun.
No, I mean I've come a long way, but it's also because then for the most part of my me playing was only alone. So the time is just me. I mean,
Mm,
like,
yeah.
my artistic rules. so yun. So started there. Then after I guess like around a year or so, I kind of forgot na rin kung ano gaano katagal. Uh, they had to go somewhere because pastors tend to be transferred from church to church then. So uh, I was so from that point on it was just me up until now self-taught. I tried the UP thing just like Jello, the extension program thing. It didn't work for me. I found it boring. Uh, so yun. So what got me into this type of music? I'd say well, as a pianist, I was very drawn to harmony.
Mm,
So when you hear jazz, like, uh, well, ano ba? I'm very much attracted to the chords that I hear in jazz, or at least the music that it sounds jazzy, because not everything that has those harmonies is actually jazz. Uh, so yun. So yeah, from there it kind of spanned out. But I was actually listening to other stuff in as well. Like Jello, I was also into uh, video games and music, and I was
Sweet.
also listening to rock as well. I know like all of us here actually like has a like, wide range of listening even before then. Uh, so I was also listening to, well, one of the parang most memorable uh, pieces I guess that I've listened to in high school was Cradle Filth's cover of Bloody Tears in Castlevania. I don't know if
Oh
you've
my
Okay.
watched it.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oi, nice.
yeah,
We should jazz it up.
Yeah, you should.
yeah. And I was at the time I was also listening to other gospel songs, I guess, and Michael Jackson. Yeah, I was a big fan of Michael Jackson. Way back in high school. I even danced to some uh,
Oh,
uh, school programs, like Michael Jackson stuff.
oh shit.
All right,
My
see,
God.
Jello's like shocked at reaction, right? But then let me tell you, Jello, the quickest way to
Yay.
get anybody to dance is really to put on a Michael Jackson record. Because
Okay. All right.
at one point in time, whether in public or
Uh-huh.
secretly, if you're listening to
People
Michael
are
Jackson in the house, you dance to Michael Jackson.
I shall
If you,
experiment. I shall
yeah, dude,
experiment tomorrow.
put
Just put it on.
put in Billie Jean, and seriously, Michael Jackson's actually my house chore music. So it becomes more
Ah,
enjoyable. So naguhugas ako ng pinggan or
it does
naglilinis
feel
ako.
productive.
Tapos Michael Jackson yung soundtrack ko. So I'm having fun. I'm dancing with the
Yeah, he
broom.
was my go-to music. So like,
Yeah.
if like I have nothing else to listen
Nice.
to, like put on Michael Jackson. It's fine, all right.
And
So yeah, so,
it's amazing the range of his music as well. When you go
yeah,
from
yeah.
the Jackson 5 to his solo stuff, his later stuff, Blood on the Dance Floor, not too much. But then, he has enough classics to actually make you happy. Diba?
Yeah,
I
Elijah.
yeah,
see.
yeah. And actually, I guess I have an unusual type of listening, I guess. Usually, some of the musicians I know would listen to albums, the whole album, whereas me, I would just listen to what uh, catches my interest. Usually that happens like pag naglalakad ako somewhere, like sa mall, narinig ko, what was that? So,
Yeah.
I Google that. Sometimes I only listen to one song sa isang album, but just because it came across yung song na yun at some point in time. So I just sound hounded that thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, you should try naman to explore
Oh
the rest of the
no.
album. Baka may magustuhan ka rin.
Yeah,
Di
yeah,
ba,
that's
Elijah?
eventually, yeah. Yun naman din yung ginawa ko.
It's funny. It takes a while when a song hits you, as music listeners, right? When a song hits you, and you get the album, whatever format, whatever age you've been, whether it started out as vinyl or cassette or CDs, diba? It's always inevitable that we always go to that track that got us to buy that album in the first place, and
Right.
we play
That's
the
true.
shit out of that song, and then when you're not there by the player, the rest of the album happens, and you're like, "Oh, maganda rin pala yung track 4, ah. Ah, maganda rin pala yung track 5."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
inevitable that you play the shit out of that one song that got you hooked. You know.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sab? What's your musical background? When did you discover music?
I discovered music. I don't even remember. I just know that I was an album listener from the very beginning. With cassette tapes pa nga nung una. I think my very first cassette was Britney Spears and Christina
Oh.
Aguilera, and then we had
Oh.
this tape player, and I would just leave it on and just like sit and just listen to it. And then we upgraded to like a CD player, and then I had Destiny's Child. And then when I'm tired of Destiny's Child, I listen to this classical album where with Beethoven and like Bach and stuff, just trying to understand. And then I took piano lessons actually. I never really had any
Ooh.
like formal training with singing. It was just like
No.
a few years ago lang nga eh. Um just to
No
sort of fix
way.
everything that choir taught me in high school. I'm an alto and I sang alto and they never teach you how to do solo singing.
That's an alto.
But after high school, I said maybe I'll join the choir. Then in college, I was in Miriam, so it was Miriam High School, and their choir was very competitive. So I love being part of like some something that grew or traveled or had um
Huh.
I don't we were practicing every day after school and stuff like that. Like I love that. That really uh gave me drive. But I found out that the choir in college wasn't that serious. Like it was
Okay.
just like something that they did every other day. And so I was like, maybe not. I'll look for like maybe a band that I can I can join. And my first band was like an urban dub cover band. And
Whoa. The
it
more you
was
know.
it was like it was like rock, and then I tried singing Paramore, but then I was like, I can't. Let's do some like pop vocal lessons. And then I did like a I did like a talent show where I sang a Christina Aguilera song, "I Turn to You." Not very well, I might add.
Oh my
Um,
god.
but my friends were like there to support. Oh my god, I look back at the tape and was like, "Oh, cringe."
No, but that's the
And
thing. That's the thing, though. When you're a singer, I'm a singer. I come from a whole family of singers as well. And when you're in school and they know you sing, you get volunteered
ay, ay, ay,
for
yes.
everything, whether it be the national anthems, the flag ceremony, to talent contest, to look, it's
Mhm.
teacher appreciation day. We need a song number. Who sings in this class? Oh, ikaw, go. And then somehow I always accepted it because you get to miss class, you get exempted from tests and stuff like that. So it was a great way to get out of the classroom and doing something. But
True.
just to go back to what you were saying, Sabi, you're an alto and in choir. It's funny you never get taught really how to solo or how to
Yeah.
carry a song. As an alto, I'm a baritone, so
Mm,
I had at least some
Hmm.
examples of baritones, like the crooners, right?
mm,
In terms of solo singing for the male lower range. But every time you have to do harmonies, like if you're part of the choir or like me in musical theater, you get given the weirdest fucking harmonies in the world.
yep.
You don't get given the melodies. You get given these weird ballets, so you can make the
Sounds, yeah,
sopranos. You can make the sopranos and
yeah.
the tenor sound good. You know what I mean? It's all the focus on the sopranos and the tenors are always there, and parang the baritone and the altos are like, oh, just back them up. Pampakapala kayo, di ba?
Yeah,
Right, right, Sam. It's always the
yeah,
focus on the
yeah.
fucking sopranos,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. In a beautiful song, altos would just be like, "Do," just
right? Right.
like yeah, like whoa. It's like yeah, I don't can't really
Oh my
feel it,
goodness.
but at least I'm contributing to the song.
That's true. You
Cookies.
do contribute to the sound, but it's the weirdest thing when you. I'm not schooled in music at all, so it's just I just grew up singing, and
Yeah.
when harmonies start being given in to us, and there's weird ballets that you have to do vocally, it's such a chore because you're always attracted to the melody,
Mhm.
Right.
and to have to veer away and sing these weird like notes just to make the other guy sound good. You're like, fuck, man. It's a real chore. When did you start developing your own voice, Sam? I mean, you've spoken about, singing Christina Aguilera
Right.
and Paramore and Urban. What when
Well,
did you start developing your own voice?
um, yesterday. I'm just kidding. No.
Still in the process.
I'm still struggling with it. Although people have said na parang you have like a voice naman, or like it's distinguishable, I guess. But for just for the longest time, just like in choir, right? They give you the pieces, and then even when I started in extrapolation, I would take any song they would want to do. Like we did, what was the song we did? it had a rap
Good
behind.
girls go bad.
Yes,
We did that.
I'll make them
And
good girls
good
go
girls go
bad.
bad.
And I sang that song. It
And
was
then you made
that.
your own rap. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fun. I was
Oh
just like
no.
having fun exploring also. Like, oh, that's fun. I never really like, I don't know. I want to sing everything.
Nice.
Um, I don't know. In terms of my voice, I think it was more on writing songs. Naman na that I found my voice, I guess. Couple of years also the first song I ever wrote with Extrap was Ghost.
Mm,
Also part it's also part of the live album, and it's what we will be released last year, December.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh
Sabay ng
boy. Good.
villain yun eh. It was both were released, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So it's
good
interesting that you
times.
discovered your own voice by writing your own things, which is basically how everybody discovers. Like a lot of musicians' journeys are basically we started as a cover band and we sucked. So if we write our own songs, nobody will know we sucked because these are our songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that feeling alone has led to a lot of amazing music coming out. And before we talk about your EP, I want to know, how did the band get together? You guys, I've been researching. Some interviews said you didn't know what Extrapolation was. It started out as a
No.
funk band, a rock band, and it's just a process of discovery. How did the band get together, and how did you get your sound to where it is today? Who would want to
Hmm.
take that?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
started it with two of my high school friends. We were like a trio, just an instrumental trio. So yeah, that was just like the high school circuit, like school fairs and shit. We played in like Magnet Katipunan back in the day. Um,
Oh.
yeah, but then eventually we just kind of met um, all these people and like just like musical friends along the path, and it just kind of came together organically. Like Jealous, my cousin-in-law, so he was always in my sight, and then
Yep.
yeah, we all
We
played
play
through.
in the we play in the same reunions.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of like that.
yeah. So yeah, and then yeah, Isa, she went to one of our gigs, and then my bandmate asked her if she wanted to sing. So it kind of just came out about organically, but and I guess the sound kind of reflects that, because kind of like everyone brings their own musical taste to the table, and especially because we've had like a lot of lineup changes throughout the
Mhm.
years. Uh, so yeah, it kind of just like it's like a hodgepodge. It's like a soup, Everyone puts in their own ingredients.
We could have been called soup.
Yeah, soup number five, soup number five,
Yeah.
man.
Soup
So it's funny when
extrapolation.
you're talking about how you guys got together organically, and how the people here, at least on this call, or the current lineup, landed here and brought their own thing to it. I think it's really, I love that whole, when things just fall together, and
Yeah.
the people that you're with in a group and you're making music come together naturally, instead of a fabricated idea, and then you get people to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The organic feel is so important, and I think yes, you're right. It does really reflect a lot in your sound, because I can imagine you guys, never playing your songs the same way twice, and I think
Oh
that's what
no.
keeps it. That's what would keep it fresh, in a sense. What about, okay? So going into your EP, let's discuss how this EP was made. What's your writing and recording process like? Because I've seen bands get together where they just jam. How does a jam become a song? You know what I mean? Especially with organic groups, that have a jazz background, or putting all their influences in. How do you decide what's gonna get locked into ito yung i-release natin? Because basically everything becomes a jam, when it's
That's
organic? And how do you decide this is what's going to this is the song? How does a jam become a song? What's so if you know your recording and writing process, what is that like? You all get in the studio and come up with an idea and then just freewheel it and leave the recorder running? Is that basically what happens? Like just press record and let's see what happens. You know?
Well, usually what happens is someone will like send me the like a demo or like a jam that they have, and then since I'm like the production guy and the guy who arranges everything, so I kind of like make a skeleton, and then based on that
Oh,
skeleton, we just like
So
okay,
you make sense of it.
kinda yeah, make sense of
yeah.
it,
Yeah,
and
I
then
guess.
everyone then
Input.
that's everyone puts in their
Yeah.
input when we jam in the studio, and then I don't know, it just like there's just a feeling when you one day you'll jam it and it's like okay, this is how we're gonna play it. Like you figured out the shape of the song. So it usually takes a bunch of a bunch of jams. We'll do it live a little bit. We'll try some things out that we really don't like, and then kind of
Yeah.
just do that process, trial and error, and then it's like okay, this is it. We're gonna play it now. We're playing it next week. It's kind of like that.
So parang after the jam is like, no, that didn't work. That
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah. Gonna need that.
Where did we go? We didn't go anywhere. So let's take that out and let's put this
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. Because sometimes when you write originals, it's like
Mhm.
it's like the song. You have to figure out what the song is gonna be. Like it's not
Yeah.
like I don't take that kind of like I'm the creator. It's more like I have to like nurse the idea into something. Like it's like a plant. I have to. All I can do is take care of it, and I gotta see where it's gonna go. The song.
Yeah.
So
That's
it takes
that's a good
it takes time, to achieve that.
I love that. I love that. All you gotta do is water the plant, make sure it has enough sunlight, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
and
It's
that's
gotta
it.
be
Anyway,
alive.
do you guys butt heads at any time?
I don't know, guys. Do we?
I don't know, man.
No.
Actually, with previous lineups, it happened. But this
Yeah.
lineup is a good lineup because everyone's cool with each other.
That's nice.
Everyone's
It's just,
cool.
so
Yeah.
it's basically just acceptance.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a group? Do you guys vote on things?
Do we
Yeah, we
vote?
do. We
Yeah.
Do
do.
we? Yeah, we
Yeah.
I
do.
So
mean,
Yeah,
it's
for
a
yeah.
democracy.
logistical things, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but usually there's like a very passionate rhetoric on like two sides, and then
It's
okay,
like,
then we slide.
and then it settles.
Then it's settles.
And then it's settled.
Yeah.
And then kita-kita lang tayo sa jam and it
Yeah.
happens. I
Oh,
love that.
Yeah.
I
studio.
love that.
Studio next week. All right.
I
Sunday,
love that.
Sino G.
Yeah.
So going into your EP and
Yeah.
capturing this feeling, right? Because it's really, I mean, if you go in, I'm sure what your skeleton and how it's filled out in the jams is different when you got into the studio with all the possible takes that we didn't hear that were not released, right? Because this is recorded live, right? In Wildgrass. When you got in, you had these skeletons ready, and I guess you were just ready to run with it. What really annoys the shit out of me in with this EP is that it's only five fucking songs. That annoyed the shit out of me because I'm like, I want more. I'm one of those guys who I will listen to it straight through, and I'm like, oh, yun na. And I'm one of
Would you
the
like a
guys who I'm the guy who's screaming more, more, more. If this was a gig, I'd be like,
ah,
more. Five songs, really? You know?
Well, it
And
was supposed.
ah,
why did it just happen with five songs, guys? You were there now. You could have done the whole thing.
Yeah, we did.
would you
Like the other two, we actually did 7 songs for
Oh,
the filming and production, but the two are like covers, so it's like can't release it, and there's all this like there's all these fees to pay. But we're still gonna release them. We're just gonna release them like for free.
It's on YouTube.
it's on YouTube, yes.
it's
I
on
think
YouTube.
one of them's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Christmas song.
Oh,
Yeah. We can use that again, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
must
That's
buy
your
it.
sure seller
Christmas.
every year. It's a Christmas song. That's why people
Yeah,
release
yeah, right.
like Christmas albums, pare.
Release
So
of
Yeah.
the
okay,
Christmas.
so going into the five songs, let's start it out in order. And I love
Yeah.
all five because
Oh.
it's so varied. And that's when I realized that, because as I was walking around today doing my errands, I had to go to the bank, I had to like get some groceries, etc., etc. And I'm walking around, and I realized that parang when the five songs ended, Spotify has this thing where it'll work on your algorithm, and I'm
Yeah,
like, wait,
that's
this is
right.
Mm-hmm.
and I had to pull out my phone. I'm like, this is not by them. What the fuck? So I just repeated. I just put on repeat the whole album on repeat. You know, and it's nice because it had this such a variety of emotions. As I was going through, you should have seen me dancing in the aisles in Rustans to Sunshine Blue,
Oh,
and
oh,
it was so much
Awesome.
fun. And then I
feels
realized,
great.
I started getting darker when Villain came on. I'm like, and I remember I was by the canned goods, and I was like, yeah, it's such a mundane activity I was doing today. But the soundtrack that you provided, and it's funny enough, and I didn't know this about you guys, especially Jell, that you did soundtracks for video games. I felt like I was in a video game today because of the
It
moods.
worked.
I felt like I was leveling. I was going through different worlds, different rooms in the video games, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
you were giving me the soundtrack to actually go through my day. And before I knew it, all my errands were done. Pero bitin pa
Nice.
rin ako sa album kasi naka-repeat.
Well, looks like we're gonna be going to back to work again soon,
I
guys.
hope so. I hope so. See, there are a lot of comments. There are a lot of comments. Yeah, yes, diba? More pa. Diba? IB, right? I
Yeah.
agree. Haha, I want more. It's same thing. I want more. I wanted more. And I can only imagine doing some research about you guys. I can only imagine that these are the captured takes um that we are hearing that were released, right? But I can only imagine what would it feel like at a live gig where um you would have you wouldn't have the barriers of the time constraints of a release, or
Mm.
you wouldn't have the oh, this is the one take that's released. You'll be feeding off that moment, being the organic band that you are. But I just want to figure out, let's go song by song. There are only five songs, which annoys the shit out of me because only five songs, right? How did Higad happen? Let's start out with the first track, Higad. How did that happen? Who started that out?
That
Mm.
was by me. How did that start out? That was just like um, it's just like a loop in my because I have a lot of like sketches and loops and in my computer. Just like when I'm not
Oh,
doing anything, I just sketch. I make loops and stuff. So it started out that way. Um, what happens is like I'll make a loop and then I'll leave it for like a couple of months. Then I'll come back with it and I'll go, hey, this kind of has a future. So that was kind of like that's what happened with Nika.
This
Then
kind of has a future. I love that.
you work on things and sometimes the magic like okay, I'm not inspired anymore. So you leave it behind and then you come back to it and then oh okay, I was this is not half bad. So
oh,
it went from there. Then I just and that time I rediscovered it. Then I finished it. I fleshed it out and then I took it to the band, and then
he
and
got,
the arrangement
he
happened.
got. Dude, all this time I thought it was because like a higad fell into your shoulder or something, and it'd be like, oh shit,
Yeah,
da-da-da-da-da,
but that was our
da-da-da-da-da.
narrative for eating.
Yeah, because like imagine. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's exactly what I saw. It's like those Sesame Street videos where just
Right?
doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And then when it goes to the second breath, da-na-na-na-na, that's when it starts, it's on my
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
Oh
yeah. You're
Yeah,
like trying to get the he got off of you.
no.
Then it
And
goes
then it
back.
goes back to,
Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it like where is
is it
it?
Yeah, it's
gone?
like,
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah.
And then solo. Biglang, oh shit, it's still there.
well, apparently we were all wrong because it just started out as a sketch on his computer.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
well, I'll believe what I believe because that's fun.
Right there, that's true. But I mean, I guess that's
That's,
that's the beautiful thing about, like, how things start with a sketch, on his computer,
Yeah.
and him going back a couple of months, like Ike going back a couple of months and going, "Hey, this has a future." And then when he gives it to you, I think that's the beauty about organic music, where it takes on another meaning, it takes on another life. And it's
Oh
funny that
yeah.
most of us just saw the Higad, right, which he never saw, but it gives it a life of its own when it's in other people's hands or in other people's ears, and then you just add on your take on it. And that's
I
right. I'll
remember.
believe what I believe. I'll believe what I believe. It's more fun, and that's your
I
take
re-
on it, and that's your contribution, which I think
I
is,
reject your
you know,
reality and
I
substitute it with my own.
yes,
One
that's the way to
liners.
go. That's the way to
Yeah.
go. And then, okay,
Ayun.
and then going into Sunshine Blue, which is I think my
Oh,
favorite, because it's just it lifts me up, man. How did
Right.
Sunshine Blue happen?
Ike,
Isab.
Ike pa rin.
Also,
Isabike.
also something I wrote, but I kind of forgot now. I was one of the older ones. I kind of forgot how I wrote it, but the the arrangement of the song, it's different from our arrangement on the record. So that's another example of like you going back to something and then trying to like.
Oo nga.
It's like I came back to the song and I was like much older because that's like I said one of the oldest
Yeah.
originals. I came back to it because I felt like it wasn't like me anymore. I had to like update it for because now I'm older, so I can bring my experience into it. So
Mm.
uh, yeah, it was like that. It it was more like I guess like it was more like a pop arrangement before, and then it
Mhm.
kind of became more of a Latin thing. Uh,
Right.
yeah, but that's one of the oldest. So like it probably also started out as like a sketch in my computer. And
I I remember it was a sketch. It was something in our Dropbox. It was just
yeah, okay.
instrumental, and you were like,
Oo.
"Hey, Isab, can you try writing lyrics for this?" And I'd never written lyrics before, so when I brought Ike my sketch, it was like, I don't know. I think you kept like just like a line or something, just like sunshine blue or something.
I just know he got like like stoned with Julio, and then that's when he finished the lyrics.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Julio who you really like hashed it out with.
It's interesting because I mean, writing lyrics, when you latch on to one line, when you're writing your lyrics, and I've done this also, Sab, do you find that you're just finding things to you're just trying to find words to fill up the space,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and then you figure out what you really want to say, and usually that happens when, like, for example, if you just kept Sunshine Blue, and that's the only thing that worked, it changes the entire thing, and you figure out what you're trying to
Ah.
write about. It's a strange kind of wordplay because you're going with ideas. When you write lyrics, you have to figure out what you're writing about. What how does the song feel? How do you want to make the listener feel? How are you feeling? All these things come, and
Mhm.
sometimes the words don't come, or you're
Ah,
just putting the words in, and you're just trying to fill up the space. So,
correct.
in terms of writing, Sam, what is your process in that sense of elimination, of refinement? Do they get down on you, the rest of the band, going, "What the fuck are you writing?" You know, because
Um,
believe me, that's happened to me. My band members are like,
Oh
"What the
shit.
hell? What kind of day have you had, man? Why are you writing this shit?" I'm like, "Well, hey, it's not
Who
set in
hurt you?
stone. Yeah,
oh my
yeah. There's
goodness.
like that,
Who
you
hurt you,
know."
Isab?
It's basically like that. Like, sino na naman to? Ganon.
Right?
Diba? Yeah,
After rehearsals.
you write about your life, eh. Diba?
Yeah, yeah. It's basically
Yeah.
it. Like, but also like my version of sketches would be recordings on my phone. So, I usually have the thought of what I want to say with the melody na. So like
Mm.
with Ghost, it started with in time with the chorus. In time you said, in time you said again, slow down. because I was so annoyed at like that line. It was actually said to me in like a breakup. So it was like, oh, okay.
Ouch.
Boyfriends. Boom.
Yeah,
But that's the
yeah,
that's the power that writers have. You know, we will immortalize
Yeah.
you. We will
For
Yeah, channel
sure.
that
immortalize
Taylor
you.
Swift spirit.
Hey,
Right?
don't hate on
You know,
Taylor.
hey, you know, Taylor, she's
John
a
Mayer did the
genius.
same thing.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
She's a genius in her own right. But you know, you really tend to write from your experiences. It makes it more authentic. It makes it, you know, whether it's been said to you or
True.
you said it. You know, coming from a
Yeah.
breakup like Ghost. You know, it's funny that because with Ghost, the lyrics are so heartbreaking, but then you know the beat behind it is so light, naman.
Yeah.
There's that contrast. Na parang I wouldn't have imagined
Yeah,
that scenario going with that music, but I think it's the contrast that actually makes it
yeah.
work in a
Because
sense,
it's
and that's
funny. Yeah, it makes it funny because it's like in time you said slow down, so I'm gonna make the song fast. It's just like fast like time feelings, you know. Just like yeah.
Exactly.
and then okay, so you know we've heard from about Ghost, and then what about Villain, naman? Villain's another favorite of mine because that's I think that's the track that really made me go into the video game mode on my day.
Right?
Mm.
It's such
Um,
a it's not even a mood, it's a soundscape that
yeah.
you know things that you hear in your head when
Mm-hmm.
you are just going about your day, like I was saying, even the most mundane tasks, it gets elevated because of that soundscape
Yeah.
and the
It's like you're
emotion
in a
behind it.
movie,
Yeah, it's like you're in a movie, and we're all in our movies, our own little movies when we're going out. Except
right?
in my movie, I was just pissed I had to wear a fucking face shield. Ugh, so
Oh
annoying.
boy.
In my movie, I was in a suit, but then unfortunately, I was not. You know, how did Villain come about?
Wait, hmm. Was this
EK.
Oh yeah, okay.
was this
I
was
also
this a
wrote
game
villain.
like this?
I wrote
Yeah.
villain with Zia. That one was kind of like it was just a chorus, and then I had like a scat melody, which was supposed to be the verse, but I couldn't find the words. So
Yeah.
it just had the chorus, you know, the villain. It just had that part, and then I kind of just gave it to Zia, and then Zia like interviewed me about like, so like, what is the song about for you? And then it came about from there. So she filled in all the lyrics. She added a bit of herself.
It's interesting when you throw it out. Do you find any hesitation in throwing something out there that's personal?
But yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
and I think that goes a long way in terms of the band dynamics. That you have to trust the person you're throwing this out to,
Yeah,
so that
totally.
they can run with it. And that's basically like that's my plant. That's my baby. You know,
yeah.
that's my emotion. That's my life experience. Where are you taking it? Why are you making it into a samba? You know what I mean? I mean, you know, because it's not your idea, but I think the beauty of the organic nature of your songwriting when you throw it to somebody else and they put their own take on it. I think it adds life to it and it can go into a direction that you didn't think it would,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of your songs. I like I said, you know, today I was just imagining you guys playing this live, and depending, I suppose, on you know your audience or even the bar you're in, that probably
Oh,
affects how you're going to play this. And in your live gigs, does it do that?
sometimes.
Do you
I'm
Sometimes,
guys
thinking about it. You
go
go,
ahead, Sam?
Isam.
um, yeah, sometimes I guess for me, I switch up some lyrics depending on how I feel that day. Or like maybe I do the same verse twice. I don't know. Just it's mostly the musicians. They take a longer solo, or
Yeah.
they take a slow or fast one,
Or
or
sometimes, or sometimes, like if we feel that oh nobody's listening, maybe we'll try something more experimental.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there are many moments in the gigs
Diba?
where we reach for something within practice. It comes
Yeah.
out most of the time.
Spain.
I guess it comes out pretty good.
Spain. Spain.
But I guess that I mean that's the beauty of it also. If it keeps it fresh, because if you only play it the way it's recorded,
Exactly.
parang
Yeah.
you're covering yourself,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like
Right.
Yeah, it's like just listen
right.
to the record. Just
Yeah,
listen
just
to
listen to the record. You know,
Yeah.
I love like when I watch bands and they do a cover song and they make it theirs. That
That's
for
fun.
me that's so much fun because this is your take on it in terms of sound arrangement, etc. The
Exactly.
feeling, the mood. But it's also a trap that I've seen also a lot of recording artists fall into where they feel like they have to play their own song in a certain way because the crowd expects it to be played in a certain way. I have a
Uh,
lot of admiration for artists who will not do that. Like I'm gonna mix up my own song and basically because this is how I'm feeling tonight. And I think
right.
that's it takes a certain amount of courage to do that, certain
Mhm,
amount of
mhm.
rebellion, because I'm not going to cover my own song. Placado, why? What's the point, right? And I can only imagine what goes on with the band dynamics on stage at your gigs.
Yeah.
Now, talking about gigs, in a sense, what's I mean, obviously we haven't had gigs in the past, you know, since the pandemic started, right? When you were when gigs were allowed, off the top of your head, what would be the best gig you guys have ever had? I'm
Best
sure we're going to
gig.
get different
Huh.
answers from everybody.
Yeah. I wonder what the
Best
best
gig,
gig was.
best
Ah,
gig.
Are we
Bacolod.
having different answers though?
I don't know. I don't know. Bacolod Jazz Fest was really
oh yeah,
fun.
that's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
BJ Fest.
Bacolod is
I
for
mean,
me too. Yep.
What was fun
BJ
about
Fest.
it? What was fun about the Bacolod Jazz Fest? What made that
Well,
stand out as a best gig?
we were taken care of very well.
Very well.
I guess it's the
Hospitality,
whole
B
experience,
plus
not just the
plus.
festival.
Exactly. Yeah, the entire thing. We went to the beach. We went to. It was like a long drive pa nga to the beach, diba? I mean that was
Yeah.
after the show, and then we even had kilawin. We had a lechon. Oh, I miss it.
All the
But going back to the
inasal.
music. Oh shit! Yeah, the inasal. No, let's go back to the food.
Okay.
I never ate. I don't eat as much, but when I was in Bacolod, I don't know. I ate a lot.
yeah.
Well, the food's really good there, and the booze is really cheap. And
Exactly.
and going to Bacolod, they take care of you. Even when you're
They
not playing music, they
do.
take care of you. They take care of you really
They're
well.
so nice. They're so
They're
nice. And
lovely, lovely people.
apart from just the Bacolod Jazz Fest itself, our handlers, sila JD, they brought us to a local show, actually, local place. No, what was that place called? Parang Artist something. I don't know,
Yeah,
Artist
guys.
Square.
Artist Square or something. And then we were there just to watch a gig, and they were super they were super fun to watch. And then sabi, I was like, okay, sige, jump kayo. And then some of us just went up stage and we were like just playing with them, and we got to meet a few friends too. So it was super like a whole different experience. And yeah, and we saw like people our age naman, because in Bacolod Jazz Fest they were mostly mga tito age, I
Mga
guess.
seniors, mga senior. Hindi naman seniors,
Ito,
mga
tayo
senior.
dyan, oh. Yeah, instead of
Senior.
beer, they'd give you the scotch. They'd give you all. You could tell by the kind of alcohol they give you,
That's true. That is true.
and how fudged up I was that night. Oh boy.
So ano, unanimous
Woo.
ba to? Bacolod Jazz Fest, unanimous for the food and the beach.
Kayo. Ako
yeah.
Bacolod Jazz.
Honorable mention Malasingo because it's the whole beach. Is
Actually,
our first beach gig, and it's like we took a boat to the island, and
Oh
we
yeah,
we
that was
all
nice.
This was
there.
in where? This was in Puerto Galera.
Puerto
Yes.
Galera,
Not the
Yeah.
one here, no. Was it in
no,
the original spot in Puerto Galera or the
to the beach.
or
Beach
Not
by
really.
white
area.
or
White
white
Beach,
beach?
yeah.
Ah, the
Yeah,
white beach. See,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Mm.
that I would have met you guys there. It's so ironic with the Malasimbo. I
Oh,
have bad karma with Malasimbo because every time Malasimbo comes up, I have a show
yeah.
in Manila, so I can't go.
Mm.
Dang,
And
that
how
sucks.
ironic! It was so ironic that the last one in Puerto Galera in White Beach in Puerto Galera, not the
Yeah.
mountain area, but by the beach area.
Mm-mm.
My band was actually slated to play the Blue Rats,
Mm.
and
Blue Rats.
and Andy
Johnny.
Locsin. Yeah, we play
Johnny.
with Johnny Bessa,
Oh
and
my God.
yeah. So I sing for
Sorry.
them.
Dan.
So I sing for them, and it's ironic because Andy Locsin basically owns the beach that we played in, that you guys played in, and I couldn't go because I was opening a show on that very day.
Mm.
So
Oh,
so
that
my
Dang.
band was just sending me.
sucks.
So I've never actually been to a Malasimbo gig because I've always had a
Oh.
show, and my band were such
Dude.
jerks because they were just sending me pictures. You know, alam mo, ang saya dito, sayang, Jamie. I'm like, tangina nyo. Tangina nyo,
Knowing
di ba?
Johnny. Yeah.
And and we were doing a dress tech before opening the show, and I was in a theater, and I was like, oh, I wish I was there with you guys, you know. But yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
Malasimbo gigs are also legendary, in terms of just not only the artists that you get to hang out with and play
oh
and and
gosh.
play with and watch, but also the audience that goes there. I've heard. I would like to experience it one day. Are fantastic. So that's great. So going from Malasimbo and the Bacolod Jazz Fest as your best gigs in memory, what would be the worst gigs that you've had?
Ooh.
Funked in the jazz.
Si Elijah tawa,
Funked in the
parang mas marami yun, ah.
Hindi naman, like,
You
they're
guys
also very
remember
memorable.
You guys remember Funked in the Jazz?
What's that? What is
Can
that?
Funked in
you
the
refresh
Jazz.
my memory?
Okay, so I remember our then sax. What's this? I think it took us a while to find the place. Even I forgot where it was.
Was in this where San ba yun? Kalayaan or something.
Kalayaan. Oh, it was somewhere in QC. Ba? Anyway, and
You
then
see,
I think it was during college, pa. And then I think everything that night was going wrong. Like we had a problem with the sound, though.
oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I was like,
then
shit,
You,
guy.
you were pissed, though, I think, that day, and then it was just like shit. And then our then sax guy wasn't there because he also couldn't find the place. And then the moment he came, we were already starting the first song. And then crap, we finished the set, and then afterwards, sax guy he got hit by a drunk driver at the
Holy
Oh
same
shit,
time.
no!
Remember this?
forgot that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. It was a really bad night. I think it was also raining. I don't know, but I think I'm just embellishing in my brain. I don't know. It just felt
No, yeah,
bad.
no, you might as well add that in. I mean, you can't find the place. It's raining. Sound is
Yeah.
bad. Drunk
Stress.
drivers.
Parking was I don't know where. I don't know where to park. Oh
Oh
shit.
my gosh.
Pwede ba dito? Ayun.
Another
Kayo,
one
guys.
was so we used to have a regular gig at this bar. I don't know if we should mention it.
Oh my god.
But then so
Now I remember.
Oh,
dapat yung TF would be door charge, right? So we get there, we expect door charge, and it turns out it's a private event.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So they didn't tell us because I don't know, probably we were supposed to negotiate a higher rate because it
Yeah,
was
because we
private.
charge higher for a private
You
event.
would charge
Yeah,
higher
you
for
would.
private.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
But
Yeah.
they didn't tell us. And so suddenly our friends who were waiting outside couldn't get in because
Oh.
the door was telling them, this is a private event. And we're like, what the hell?
Okay. I think this will take the cake.
Wow.
This will take
That
the cake.
was one of the
This
worst.
was the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah.
This was
Oh,
the
I-
worst.
We
I
played. We
can.
still
Okay, go.
played.
Yeah, yeah.
We still
Yeah.
played.
We even got mad at the owner like at the same night. I think
Yeah,
we had a
yeah, yeah.
meeting after, and it's like, hey, this that no cannot do. That
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
Yeah.
stressful.
It
Because I
went
Uh,
mean,
on
like
for like
the basic thing would be to at least inform you guys because yeah, what if your friends would be coming in, you had your crowd would be coming in, and then if people already would make the journey there, especially since it's puesto no eh, puesto yung
yeah.
gig nyo
Yeah.
eh. So basically, if you're a
So
regular there, you have regular goers, and to close it down all of a sudden to a private event,
mhm.
at the very least they could have done was inform you. So you could have told,
Yeah.
your group. That's tough, man. I can only imagine how this meeting afterwards went.
Oh, I can
Oh boy,
remember another
guys
two.
don't remember.
First is I guess yung there was one restaurant in Makati that we played
Oh
in.
my god, yeah.
Remember that? You remember? Of course, you'll remember that. Uh, yeah.
Oh
So
shit!
so what happened was, of course, we had the usual setup that we play there and we get like food, the usual food and drinks. So not only was the setup like hindi siya maayos, but it's also at some point when we were leaving, the manager, it's not the owner, the manager is making us pay for the food because parang sumobra daw or something. But like parang alam ko like in the beginning we agreed na ganito yun. So they were
Mm.
charging us for extra stuff. And yun lang naalala ko. I think others have other stuff
It was
regarding that
that,
case.
yeah. From what
It
I
Yeah.
was
know.
okay. So the agreement was it was gonna be a full band setup. And they would have drums. And when I got there, walang drums. So I had to call everybody and like so how are we gonna do this?
How are we gonna play?
Can you guys bring your stuff? And yeah,
Oh boy.
somehow
Yeah,
John was able to play
hi
the
hat and
beat.
snare lang yan eh.
Yeah,
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 yeah, the bare bones, bare bones.
the
bare
bare
bones lang.
bones.
But oh boy, that was oh
Yeah.
oh
It's fine. Have
And
you ever experienced like a gig at a place where, because I've gone through a couple of these where you're not allowed to go in through the front. You have to go in
Mm,
by
to the back.
through
Oh
the
right,
back
no.
entrance. I
right.
Yeah.
remember arguing. There was a bar in BGC. This was like years and years and years ago. Before was it wasn't even BGC. It was the Fort. You know, and
Okay.
there was a place that had live music every Friday and Saturday. But then they would insist that the band would go through the back entrance and not mingle. And you weren't even allowed to mingle with the crowd or the guests, even in between sets. And I was like, man, I
Oh.
remember getting really drunk and arguing with the manager. And then in the midst of our argument, of course, this poor woman is just doing her job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She mentions the name of the owner, and it turns out I knew the owner. So I call him up and I said, "What the fuck are you doing? Telling us that we can't mingle with the crowd, and all that,
Yeah.
considering that this person was also a musician." And so,
Oh,
we played the second set, and of course, it makes it weird because when these things are imposed on you, it makes the set that you're playing, it gives it a strange
weird.
energy,
It
diba? Because
does.
you're not
Yeah.
you're not you're not free to I can't even say hello to my girlfriend in the audience because she's the guest. What the fuck, right? You know.
Right.
Mm,
Oh my
And
god.
I remember after playing there, and because I was on the phone with the owner, apparently quite, like pissed off. The very next week, he changes the policy. And
Ah.
unfortunately, that still happens to this day. Like when you play the hotels, they don't like you entering from the front.
Oh my god.
And it's funny
Oh.
because basically you're the entertainment.
That,
And I don't like the idea that you can't come in from the front door and mingle with the guests because that's what makes the guests come back. You know,
exactly.
it's not
yeah.
only just
Yeah.
about the music, but it's also like, hey,
Yeah.
what brings you here to watch
Right.
us?
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
funny that
gosh.
there's always a disparity between the manager, like the manager running after you, ay sumobra kayo sa bill nyo, 'di ba? Sa mga sa food
Oh.
nyo, all
So
that, right?
true.
It's funny
Oh
that
boy.
they the way certain venues. That's why we're very picky also with the venues that we play, because not all venues are the same. In regards of setup, etc.,
Mhm.
etc. Some venues are much better. But it's also the attitude towards the musicians, where
Yeah,
I hate the idea where you're just hired guns to play for the night. There's a reason why we're
it's not
playing.
fun. That's not
So at
fun.
least give us the dignity of being able to come in from the front door
Hmm.
and mingling with the guests. So important. It's a matter of respect as well. I think it's so important,
Exactly.
because without the band playing there, without the live music, you wouldn't have any people in your bar.
Yeah,
You
Exactly.
that's
know.
true.
Yeah.
So it's
So
just giving
true.
that a certain level of importance and a certain level of respect. But it's funny
Mm.
that ang dami niyang kwento about worst gigs.
Eh,
Yeah, we could go on and on. Yeah.
we could
Yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Come
I was about to mention one
all
more,
night.
pero since baka
Oh,
mamaya.
Oh, sige, go Elijah, go.
go
Go ka
for it,
lang.
Okay,
man.
okay, okay, okay. So disclaimer
Gigs.
lang, this is
Na.
not actually the gig, but the journey to the gig. Okay, so this yun yung
Uh-oh.
disclaimer lang. Okay, so it was, I guess, one of our first wish guesting, and I was riding with EK. You
Oh.
remember that, EK? It was
Oh
so the
no.
bus was in Manila. So short story pero very infuriating. So basically nasa sa Manila na kami. So medyo confusing kasi mga signs. So parang
Yeah.
tumabi kami to ask yung isang MBA personnel about directions. Tapos inutungan niya kami. Basically. Uh,
Yeah.
Or asking a question.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah. It's so
Oh,
bad.
I
Yeah,
guess
it's yeah.
horrible.
that's what makes like being a musician and doing all these gigs and never playing in the same place, for very long. It's always a new adventure. You don't know what to expect. You don't know
Yeah.
Yeah.
what,
It's an
what kind
interest.
of crowd you're gonna get. You don't know if the MMDA is going to make you quota or not, or if the
Yeah,
manager is
yeah.
going to run after you. And I
Oh
think
my
that's what makes
god.
it.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it more exciting than not just are you creating music, but the life that comes with it
Oh
is
yeah.
Yeah.
quite an interesting life
Totally.
where you don't.
Oh,
It's not routine. It's never routine. Every gig is different. You know,
correct.
Yeah.
And now
and that's.
that there's not much gigs happening, oh boy, it's a weird one.
I know it's weird. It's weird to adjust to the idea where tangina we're not playing live, 'di ba?
Oh,
Wala tayong
eh.
crowd. And the
Yeah.
longer we are into this pandemic, um, I feel I feel like most of the music community is itching to play live, right? They want to play
Yeah,
live. My worry is that we're getting used to not playing live.
not like live.
We're getting used
Yeah.
to, oh, let's just do the videos. Oh, let's just do this. Oh, look, wala naman traffic eh. You know what I mean? Or it's not safe out there. There's a certain
Yeah,
amount of fear, but also I think a resignation to this is how life is going to be. And I think we have to constantly fight against that and challenge ourselves. I think that when gigs can finally come back here, which I am predicting to be, you know, perhaps at the end of the year, controlled gigs
mhm,
because more people are being
yeah,
vaccinated, right? I think it's going to be a renaissance of so many art forms, not just
yeah,
musicians, but theater, ballet,
yeah,
poetry, because we've just been all cooped up for so long. And the thing is, we
yeah,
just have to hold on until that time where we're allowed to play again. And I
exactly.
think it's going to be an explosion. And then we're going to get on
Springboard.
stage. We're going to get on stage and figure out, shit, do I still remember how to do this? Can I still sing like two sets or three sets of 45 minutes? Do I still have a
Oh
voice to do
goodness.
that? Right? I mean, that's a
Nah,
real
that's
concern, right,
true.
Isab?
True.
That's a real concern.
Yes.
Can I still sing
Yes.
three
Oh
sets, man?
boy. Oh
Because we
yeah.
haven't had to do it. Not like
Oo nga,
before
no?
na back-to-back yung gigs natin. Di ba? Okay lang eh. Pero
Oo.
ngayon, since matagal tayo nawala, taka na kaya ko pa bala yung two sets? Kaya ko pa yung three
Man,
sets? Oh my God.
man,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like going to another planet, huh? Oh shit. I only realized that now.
And then when we
Especially
get back,
us.
and then when we get back
Yeah.
to gigging, we're gonna be thinking, shit. Okay, do I have to wear a mask? Am I taking my mask off? Am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially
We have
singers, though.
yeah. I mean, you guys have the option. Well, you don't have an. You have to take off your mask. You can't play a flute with your mask on.
I was joking how I can just cut a little slit here.
Eh di
And
wala
then
din.
like
Tanggalin mo na lang.
wala
Ganon din, pare.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there's gonna be this fear, but I think, I think the excitement of it and the passion of it, there will always be a certain amount of fear. There's always a certain amount of fear before I play, because I'm
Yeah.
worried. Am I in top shape? Am I gonna fuck it up? Can I reach this note? That fear is always ever present whenever you want it to be a good gig, right? But then the fear of returning to live gigs from the pandemic, um, is gonna be there. But I think the excitement and the passion should more than balance it out, because we
Yeah.
all want to play live. We all want to go back to having a drink, with our friends and playing live music, or even going to watch live music, you know, like other
Yeah.
countries are doing now. So I think it's going to be an explosion of, I think we're all going to be gigil when we go. Parang ang bilis ng mga kanta natin. Unang kanta, kasi we're so gigil.
Oh
Diba?
no.
When we see the
Here
crowd
we
in
go.
front of us, pare, let's go, double time. That's what's going to happen. But
I bet
I
the
hope,
crowd. I bet
go
the
ahead.
crowd's also gonna be just as hyped, so it'll
Yeah,
be
diba?
fine.
Yeah, the energy going back and forth when we're in the same space again playing
They
live is
won't
going to be
notice.
insane. It's going to be insane, right?
Yeah, dude.
So
Yeah.
I really hope that it comes sooner than later. We are currently setting protocols for this because I'm a safety officer. So we've actually spent the time in creating protocols for when live gigs come back, whether it be in a small scale or a large scale, and we just have to get the powers that be on the same page. So I think we should all do our part, and make sure we stay healthy, we stay safe, we stay sane, and we're ready for that when that moment comes back.
Yeah.
When that
Yeah.
moment arrives where we can play again, I'll be right there saying more. If you only play 5 songs, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Ah.
If I come to watch your gig and it's only five
Well
songs,
then.
I'm gonna throw bottles of beer at you guys.
Oh
I'll be
boy.
the irate concert goer going, "Puta ka na,
More!
bitin! More!" All
We
right.
should
Oh
do
no.
6 to 7, so you're good.
Yeah, 6 to 7.
Well, make them long. So that's
Ah.
at least sulit, diba? I mean, I'm thinking,
That's true. That's
when
true.
live gigs come out, nandun na tayo eh. So bakit
Mhm,
tatlong
mhm.
kanta lang? Bakit limang kanta lang? Sulit na natin, di ba? We're out na eh.
That's
Nasaan ka ng
true.
curfew?
Make the most out of it. And
Oh
speaking of
yeah.
more, okay, we're gonna go into the segment in the show called we call the rundown, where I'm gonna be asking you
Yeah.
10 quick questions. All
All
right.
right.
The answer just off the top of your head. You can choose to explain or not to explain. That's perfectly all right. I will call you out one by one. It's 10 questions for each of you. The first one being, and this is actually tougher than a mathematic question. Um,
Oh no.
if you only had to choose one, what would be your absolute favorite song in the whole world?
Uh,
Only one. Jello, let's go.
Dynamite, Jamiroquai.
Ah, nice. All right. EK.
I can never get it off my head.
What's going on, Marvin Gaye?
Ooh, nice one. I
Ah,
was just listening to that. Elijah.
Oh man, it's so hard.
Don't
I
think too
guess
much.
okay,
that's what she
Michael
said.
Jackson, Billie Jean. So
Billie
basic.
Jean. There you go. Billie Jean. Isab.
That's it.
Ikaw, Isab.
Let's stay together, Al Green.
Oi.
Nice. Okay. Really good choices, guys. All right. Going to our second question. If you only had to choose one, who would be your favorite local artist or group?
Oh,
EK, let's start with you.
Oh man, one.
Shit.
One.
Oh
Just
no.
one. It's like choosing, but it's so hard, diba? You have to choose from your favorite children. Who would
Oh
Yeah.
be
yeah.
the one local artist or group that you would say would
Uh,
be for you?
oh man, one. I'll go with like a classic. I'll go with Apo Hiking Society.
Oh
Right.
shit.
Good one. Good one.
Oh.
Jello.
Okay, I found it. Pawikan. Remember them? The one with they
oh
use
Yeah.
my
indigenous instruments.
God.
Shit,
Yes.
they're such fun to watch.
Yes.
Ah. I love him.
I miss them. I miss watching them live.
Me too. It's so I don't know. It's just nice. I don't
It's
know.
nice
Their
reggae.
energy is just so like. Yun lang.
Nice.
Okay, Elijah,
Ah,
ikaw.
yeah. So-
Um,
Siguro I also take the classic route and say George Canseco.
Oh yeah, man. George Canseco.
George
Yeah,
Canseco.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yun. All right, Isab,
Go
The
Isab.
Rainmakers. Bini
the
Bini.
Rainmakers.
Ooh,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Good choices, guys. Okay, let's go into question number 3. Um, madami pa, pero these are easier because these are personal questions. Okay,
Oh
so
boy.
let me ask you, what turns you on? What
Uh-oh.
turns you on?
There's a lot.
One
Let me get
lang,
my
one
list.
lang,
One
one
lang.
Oh,
list. All
all
right, one
right.
lang. What turns you on? EK, let's start with you.
Communication.
Communication. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jello, what turns you on?
Cosplay.
But wait, you say it in
Okay.
such a dirty way, man. You
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it in
yeah.
Wink.
cosplay.
And you have to look at everything behind you.
Ikaw,
See?
Elijah. Elijah, what turns you on?
Personality.
Oh,
Personality. Yes.
am I the
Yes.
only sexual one here?
Wait, we haven't heard from Isab yet. Isab, what turns
Okay,
you on?
okay.
Humor.
Alright.
Humor.
Humor can be
Humor
sexy.
is sexy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, so let's flip it around. And I want to ask you what turns you off. Isab,
Ugh.
let's start with you.
Off. It would be the opposite of communication. Just like shutting
Discommunication.
down, building a wall.
Building a wall. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. I totally get that. Elijah?
Uh, BO.
That
I love
over.
how it's
That's true.
Yes,
Love that.
That's true.
yeah. I like how yung iba is more of like non-tangible. Non-tangible naman din yun, pero like it's more shallower. Yeah, BO.
I don't think
None.
it's phased me,
Wouldn't even
Bio.
be that person if they had you.
Ikaw, Jello, what turns you off?
shit. What turns me off? Not having anything to do. Actually, not having anything to do. Swear. As in, like, if I have a day of just no work, no projects, no music, or it'll drive me nuts.
Okay. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
days doing nothing is also good though.
Yeah.
But I understand. I understand where
Ah,
you're coming from.
it's more tiring, kaya.
Oh, actually. Ikaw, Ike, what turns you off?
Clinginess.
Clinginess.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. We all know that one someone
yeah,
who's
yeah.
like, get off me.
You can get there if you don't know how to be apart. That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Okay, let's go into question number 5. EK, what is your favorite word?
Fuck.
Because you can use it in so many ways, man.
So flexible. Yeah, yeah.
It's a very
Oh, damn it.
flexible word. Ikaw, Jello.
Uh, uh, efficiency.
Efficiency. Woo. Okay,
Yes.
good. Elijah, favorite word?
What?
Saan naka-mute? What's your favorite word?
Kids.
Ah,
What's that? What's that, Elijah?
I think Elijah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted the whole time. Oh my god.
Oh
Oh.
shit.
Uh,
all right. Favorite word?
I guess lick with a double C. So,
Lick with a double
Lick.
C.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that lick. Yeah.
that kind
The
of
V.
okay.
musical. Yeah.
Okay, the musical lick,
Musical
not
theme.
lick. Okay, all right. Isab, favorite word?
Sleep.
Sleep.
That is true. Classic Isab.
Yeah. They've seen me cranky because I haven't had enough sleep.
Hey, sleep. I'm a firm believer in naps.
Mhm.
Aside from
Yeah.
your usual nightly sleep, I'm a siesta boy
Hmm.
right there. I have this
Yeah.
uncanny ability to take power naps anywhere I am, and
Nice. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I can take
Love
a power
naps.
Like
nap of like 10 minutes, and then I'm done. I'm good. I'm good
like
to go.
could you sleep like in an office chair, like super uncomfortable, and then
I
like,
have I have
I
I
can
have
do that.
slept I have slept standing up.
Oh
dude,
wow.
In
Yeah,
the
yeah.
that's a
middle
Like
of
sa
talent.
bus.
yeah, in the
Bus
middle of
Ah,
a
sleep
yeah.
rin.
in the no, not I wasn't even in the bus. I was in the middle of an open field in the fort, setting up a show for Pulp. I think it was the
Oh
Pulp
boy.
anniversary, and I
Oh my
was
goodness.
the floor director and stage manager. So I was watching the setup going on. I was standing in the middle of the field, holding a clipboard, wearing my shades. So I was standing there, and ina-unload pa lang nila yung ilaw. And then nung gising ko, nakatayo pa rin ako. Naka-akyat na yung ilaw at nag-focus na sila ng ilaw at gabi na. Sabi ko, wow, achievement unlocked. I can I can sleep standing up, not leaning
Your
on a wall.
butt.
I was in the middle of an open field, man.
Damn.
And I actually
Damn.
slept. O si Adrian
Damn.
Arcega nandito, Jello.
Uy, AIDS.
What costume are you working on in the background right now?
Oh, over there, that's another Genshin Impact. Um, Genshin Impact cosplay, and it's mine. I cross dress. Ha ha ha.
Ah,
That's why I
very
like keeping
good.
my skin. But yeah, and there's a lot of other stuff here that can't be seen because there's NDA. So I didn't put it
Ah,
there.
okay. Very good, very good, very good. All right.
Wink
So
wonk.
we're going to go to our next question, question number 6. Okay. What drives you crazy? Crazy bad.
Oh
What drives
no.
you crazy? Isab, let's start with you.
Um, not not being organized drives me
Not being
crazy.
organized. I
Wow.
get
Drives
that.
me
I get
crazy.
that. I get that. Elijah?
Mine would be, I guess, filthy bathrooms.
Oh boy.
True.
Yeah. Especially
Proud
when you need to go
SF.
number two. I mean,
True.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
True. I can relate. Ikaw, Jello, what drives you crazy? Just one thing.
This is easy. Not having the things I need when I need them. Ah,
Ah,
boy.
yes.
Swear.
You,
Especially when I'm running a workshop like this, I want to have like when you're in the creative process, you just want to like, okay, so I can just grab this and make it there.
Mm.
Okay, done. But if you don't have that one thing, it's just oh shit, I have to wait two days for Shopee to deliver it. Ganun ganon.
Yeah.
So that's why my
Yeah.
workshop is so disorganized. So if you don't like if you like organization, Isab, you shouldn't be here. It's very messy right
Close
now.
my eyes.
Yeah, but it's a
That's it.
creative mess. It's a
It's a
creative mess. So that's good. That's good.
it's a creative mess until you can't find anything anymore.
There you go. And then you gotta take the time to actually, okay, this is where I put this, and this is where I put this, and then slowly it'll become a mess again anyway.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's a
Ikaw, Ike.
cycle.
Ikaw, Ike.
uh, crappy bad food. That's like 90%
Ah,
white rice. Oh man, I
yeah.
hate that.
Yeah.
True. 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 I can't agree more. All
Yeah,
right,
like some.
let's go.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Okay, going into the next question. If you can name just one, what would be a guilty pleasure of yours? An indulgence or a guilty pleasure? Ike, let's start with you.
Uh, cookies.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Any specific
Start.
kind of cookies?
Not really, but I rarely eat sweets. I was like deprived of sweets by my mom, which I actually thank her for. But yeah, cookies really get me. Like chocolate chip cookies.
Mm, good, nice one. Jello,
I don't know. It's
guilty pleasure.
going back to work. Yeah, but I don't know. Working on my own costumes. I feel like I have so many things for like my clients, and then I have to do this for myself, and then oh shit, yeah. I just feel like I'm using company time. when I use my. I don't know. It just feels bad, but it feels good. I guess
And that's a guilty pleasure right there.
that is very guilty.
Elijah, what about you?
Mine would be buying more video games. Well, I have many video games in my backlog.
So you already have games you haven't played, but you're gonna buy more, pa.
Yeah, yeah, I have a lot. It's like some people have that with books, like buying books and they haven't read a lot of stuff yet. But yeah, that's me with video games.
I get that.
Oh
And
shit!
Isab, what would be your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Mm.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Any specific that you prefer?
70% dark.
Ah,
Ooh.
gets. I love that. Okay, let's go into the next question. If you can collaborate with any artist, local, international, living or dead, who would that artist be? Isab, let's start with you.
Collaborate. I don't know. I don't know why it's at the top of my head. Prince. Prince.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Prince. Oh, yeah. I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. Ikaw, Elijah, sino?
It's so hard. It's like picking your favorite
Yeah,
artist.
Oh, isa lang, isa lang.
Uh, I guess mine would be Bill Evans.
Hmm.
He's the jazz pianist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
okay.
Jello, ikaw.
It's a weird one. Utada Hikaru from he's the one who did the Kingdom Hearts
Yes.
original soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay. All right. Good. That's
He's fun. He's fun. He's fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ikaw, Ike, sino?
Uh, Collaborate. I would say Herbie Hancock.
Ooh,
Like
nice.
be around him. I'll just
Nice.
watch him from the
Nice.
back. That'll be the collaboration.
Just shadow him.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Next question. When you get to heaven, what do you want God to say to you? Ike, let's start with you.
Uh, what would I want God to say? What the fuck?
Your favorite word.
What the fuck?
Okay. I'll probably fist bump him or something.
I like that.
Oh my
Jello, what
God.
about you? Ikaw, Jello.
Um. Uh, uh, Heaven is not real. This is all a lie. This is. We're all just mere specks in this world. I have no clue.
Okay.
Everything is a lie.
Everything is a lie. Don't believe. Don't believe
Don't
anything.
believe everything. Don't believe it. I don't know, man.
Don't believe. Don't believe in me. That
Yes.
would be weird. That would be a
No, not
strange
real.
thing for God to tell
You're
you.
in the Matrix.
you're, you're just a glitch.
So you're not
Okay.
God?
Okay, Elijah, what about you? What do you want God to say to you?
Oh man, I can't think of anything. So I guess I'd have to stick to my Christian roots and say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. And Isab?
I want him to go full on TV show and be like, "Welcome to the good place," and then Kristen Bell appears,
Oi.
and then and
Oh
then
my God.
and then it's really hell, but it's a
And then
simulation,
Michael, yeah, it's a
and it's
simulation.
yeah,
Oh my God, yes. And Michael comes in and then he's just like,
yeah, Michael.
I love that guy. The
Oh
character.
my God. Yeah. I love that show.
That's
That show is so
interesting.
good.
That's
should watch it.
extreme. Your answers are quite interesting. I'm just wondering how God would convince Jello that he's not in the Matrix.
Hmm.
You know, or what version of heaven you would walk into.
But I
Like,
took
would
a
it
but I
be
took
like
a red pill.
when you start thinking of the concept of heaven, right? I mean, for Jello, would it be walking into a workshop that has
Yes.
everything he needs,
I'm
diba?
already here.
Oh,
Or you know,
no, no, yung
I'm
hindi ka na
how about
mag-order sa
even
Shopee,
more?
pare.
Oh my
Lahat
god,
nandun.
dude! I'd love to
mm,
work on. Yeah, yeah, and I don't have to deal with clients, just myself.
Oh, yeah, you're just creating for yourself.
Yeah,
Or if
yeah.
you walk
One day.
in, like Sabi, you walk into heaven, it's just full of chocolate.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Oh my
Wouldn't
god,
that
the
be
the way
saints
I
it's
sighed.
it's a
Yeah.
saint,
world made of chocolate, right? Wouldn't that be fantastic?
saints are
Mm.
all chocolate.
Oh.
Blessed be
Or if you have an
God
idea
in chocolate.
or if you have an idea of heaven when you walk in and you have all the musicians that have ever influenced you, that you have ever admired. There's a beautiful band set up with all the best equipment there and great sound, and they're just inviting you to get up on stage and come on, let's jam.
And you realize it's extrapolation.
There you go, baby. There you go. Right there. Right there.
We were
Okay.
with you all along.
All right. So let's do one for the road. One last question for the road. All right. Okay. What for
All right.
anybody starting in music right now? What words of wisdom or what advice would you give them? EK, let's start with you.
I guess for me it would be to like uh, tend the flame of your like passion and creativity, and like never never stop making art for its own sake. Because right now there's like this such an emphasis, like culturally there's such an emphasis on like efficiency, and how like if you can't quantify something, and how much money am I making when I do this. But that's
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's a time for that, but also if you're a
Yeah.
musician, then you're an artist, so you have to just don't forget to keep don't forget to give yourself moments like that.
That's good advice. Jello, what about you? What words of wisdom could you give?
I think just coming from my own experience, I think people who want to start out music don't really know what they want. So I guess just exposing yourselves to just the weirdest things and figuring out which are the things that you like about it. Like in my case, I just loved how the flute sounded like, and it's just simple as like I like hearing it. So I chose my instrument that way. And I'm just coming at it as an instrumentalist trying to look for a, music thing to play their music in. So I guess, yeah, just go with what you feel is right for you.
I like that. I like that. Elijah, what about you?
mine would be, I guess, uh, like, go with your passion, but don't forget to have fun. Uh, yeah, yeah,
That's really important. When it stops being fun, I mean, it's a lot of hard work, true, but
yeah,
it should still be fun. If you're not having fun,
Mhm.
then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Life is
yeah,
too
yeah.
short. I totally agree with that. And Isab, what about you? Any words of wisdom?
Um, don't rush your art.
Mm,
Don't rush
that's
your
true.
art.
That's true.
Yeah.
Give it room to breathe. Give it time to grow.
Yeah.
Just
Like
like
Ike
a
was saying,
plant.
tending the plant,
Tending
watching
the
it grow.
plant. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
That's fantastic. That's great. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and really more power to you guys. I hope you record more songs because seriously, I'm so bitten at 5 songs. So please, and once live gigs start happening again, I will be there, and I will be the big crazy guy screaming more at your gigs. So
Yay.
thank you so much, Isab, Elijah, EK, Jello. Ladies and gentlemen, extrapolation. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Take
you for
care,
having us.
Thanks,
everyone. Good
Jamie.
And
night.
yes, please stay
Thank
safe.
you. We
Thanks a lot,
shall.
guys.
Thank you.
Whew, that was fantastic. Varied answers, very different individuals. You could tell by the way they were answering their questions and making cuento. And it's amazing how sometimes what makes a band really work is the combination of all the differences that they have. If it comes together in an organic way, and I think it's very evident in particular with Extrapolation. And please do stream their EP. It's fantastic. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And I just hope that, in terms of just going off of what they said, keep on creating and follow your passions and have fun. It's got to be fun, because if it ain't fun, why the hell are you doing it? So, yeah, thank you so much, Extrapolation. And before we say goodnight, just a few more announcements from Offshore Music. Anak ng Bayan by Sulo is out now on all streaming platforms. Make sure to catch this amazing dynamite band from CDO. These guys kick so much ass. Also, alive, of course, at Wildgrass Studios. It's a live EP by Extrapolation. It's also out now on all streaming platforms. Yes, it's only 5 songs. I'm annoyed, but it's such a good EP, so make sure you stream it. We'd also like to greet Anna Mori, a very, very happy birthday. And we're going to be hearing from her soon. She's going to be guesting, because this month is all about offshore artists, and we're going to be really, really happy to have her back. And she talks about her next album that's going to come out soon. And of course, Vinyl Alert. The last few copies of Apartel's Full Flood album on vinyl are available at Northwest Estate Collectibles and Placa Planet. So make sure you grab your copy now. Thank you so much to our friends from Buenos Panaderia and the Misty Mountain Cafe. Really, the happiness that you bring me is unparalleled every morning. If I didn't have you as my ritual, I'd be having a very bad day. So, man, thank you so much, Buenos Dias Panaderia and Misty Mountain Cafe. And of course, another announcement from our friends from Liquor.PH. Celebrate Bourbon Heritage Month with all the best things about American booze. Liquor.PH has some of the best American whiskeys you can find, and with discounted bundles of up to 30% off. Find some of your favorites on sale, such as Elijah Craig, Larceny, and even Evan Williams bourbons. Get it before the deals run out. So thank you so much to our friends, Liquor.PH. And I'm really enjoying this gin and tonic you guys sent me. I haven't drank gin in a while. And this strawberry flavored gin is actually working its magic on me. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jamie Wilson, reminding you to please stay safe, stay strong, and stay sane. Keep on rocking and keep on rolling. And if all else fails, let the music keep you going. And if you find that life has got you shaken up or stirred, mixed up or on the rocks, what matters most is that you take your shot. Cheers. Thank you very much, and good night. On the Rocks with Jamie Wilson is brought to you by Offshore Music. Go where the sound takes you.